What is up, everyone? This week's actor is Jason Bateman because the change-up is coming out this week, and the movie I am gonna review is a pretty recent movie that came out this year. It's called Paul. Now, Paul is the third installment to this kind of series thing that Simon Pegg has going. The previous two movies being Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, two pretty much spoofs, kind of tributes. Like the Shaun of the Dead was a tribute to Zombieland, and Hot Fuzz was a tribute to cop movies, I think, if I can remember, action movies. This is a tribute to all those things we nerds are into, like comic books, Star Wars, and all of that crap, superheroes. Yeah. Now, yeah, I am a huge nerd, but the stuff that they're into in this one, and I guess true nerds are really into, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not really into like comic books. I've never been a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm just the kind of kid who really doesn't have much life, and Harry Potter is something I'm really into, and other stuff. But the true nerds are into the Star Wars and Star Trek, and all those monster movies, and this is what these two guys are into. Played by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They are in love. They are like the definitions of nerds, even though they're British and they love this stuff. But yeah, the two characters they play in this are on this tour in America, going to all these like conventions and seeing like Area 51 and all these sites. But then one day while they're driving along the road, an actual alien stops in front of their van, and they get knocked out, and then they wake up with Paul standing right in front of them, voiced by Seth Rogen. He's this little weird alien kind of thingy-majiggy. A nice guy, looks like the stereotypical alien, only, a lot more humorous and nicer and, kind of like us. But of course the government is out to get them, and we have a bunch of people after Paul, and they stumble upon different people along the way, and it's a whole bunch of fun. I thought their previous movie, Shaun of the Dead, I loved it until Zombieland came out and kind of just completely owned it. And I think Hot Fuzz is pretty good. It was a little long in the end, but I think that was kind of the point. This, I think, is tied with the latter two. I think none of them are better than each other, and I enjoyed this one. There are a ton of people in this movie. Of course, there's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, but also Seth Rogen, who does the voice for Paul. Kristen Wiig is in this movie, Bill Hader, Jason Bateman, Sigourney Weaver, Jeffrey Tambor, a bunch of people are in this. Any huge nerd will love this movie because they give a ton of little references to like nerd things like Predator and Star Wars, and just this movie is filled with them. I didn't get them all because I've only seen I haven't seen all the Star Wars movies, but there are a lot of references, and I think a lot of nerds will appreciate that. I think everyone's really funny in this movie. Like I said, Kristen Wiig, she plays this really pious, just religious nut that they stumble upon. And then once Paul, shows her what's really going on with science and stuff, she kind of changes, her outlook and stuff. And there's some pretty funny stuff with that. I think some of the stuff with Bill Hader got a little silly. I don't know, I wasn't really liking the stuff with some of the stuff with the cops chasing after them and all the government, Jason Bateman and Bill Hader's kind of rivalry. I thought that some of that was unneeded and a little bit silly. But yeah, overall, all the actors were really funny. Sigourney Weaver makes a small appearance. It's supposed to be all big, but, I was not all surprised by it. I think she was even in the trailer, actually. Seth Rogen does really good as Paul in this movie. I think he's really funny at sometimes. I think he comes off as kind of likable, a little. Maybe some people find him a little bit unlikable, but I thought he was pretty funny and did a good job in this movie. As for flaws, well, I already mentioned the whole thing with Jason Bateman's rivalry with Bill Hader, but also I think there's an unneeded kind of, little immature rivalry with Seth Rogen's character Paul and Nick Frost's character. I think there's a little banter going on with them throughout this movie, and I think the reason why they kind of disliked each other was just a little silly and unneeded. Also, one other thing, if you haven't seen this movie, and if you or your family is religious or anything, or especially if they're Christian or anything, I'm not saying this will ruin. I don't think this should ruin the movie or anything. But there's sort of an angst against Christianity in this movie, especially like I said with Kristen Wiig's character. The message that goes along with her character is kind of atheistic, and I don't think that should keep you from enjoying the movie if you are a Christian. I'm an agnostic. So I don't really go by any beliefs. Whenever a movie has is putting down Christians, I don't really care. And whenever it's putting down atheists, I don't really care because I just don't know. But I'm just saying it might be a little bit uncomfortable with all the Christian jokes going on. But anyways, yes, good Jason Bateman movie. He doesn't have a huge role in this, and there's also a twist with him that I wasn't too fond of. But this Paul is a fun movie, and any nerd I think will love it. So yeah, I'll see you for next week, or maybe for Cowboys and Aliens, whatever. So bye.